guys, so you've heard me preach this entire course about the importance of split testing, and this is probably one of, if not the most important sections and videos of the entire course, right? And I'm gonna repeat that really quick just in case you're like doing something else. This is one of the most important parts of the entire course. So pay close attention here because this is going to completely change how you run split tests and how you optimize Facebook campaigns and how you run Facebook ad campaigns most efficiently. And so we're going to open up this entire window so we can kind of see this clearer. But there is also kind of an explanation in the PDF that you can follow along if you like as well. I wanted to make it, both video and PDF so you guys can learn in two separate ways. You can take notes on the PDFs. Some people prefer video, some people prefer PDFs. And so even though it's a ton more work creating both, I just wanted to do that so you guys have kind of the best opportunity possible to learn. So we're going to call this one Traffic Campaign Entrepreneur Split Test. And so this is kind of what we're normally used to seeing, right? Where we choose our traffic, audience, everything. But there's one small little section that's different, right? So we're going to call this one Traffic Audience Split Test again. And normally it defaults to create new ad set, right? But there's a small little button up here that says create multiple new ad sets. So if we click this, the only difference, right, it all looks pretty much the same, but there's a major difference and it's right here. Add custom audience variation, add age range variation, add location variation, right? Add detailed targeting variation. And what this allows you to do, guys, instead of creating one ad set, right? And then once it's created, click the duplicate button, how we've showed you before. Facebook actually will allow you to create multiple permutations based on the variants that you actually select in this kind of sequence. And I know that sounds kind of complicated, but it's really not at all complicated. So let's say that we wanted to make a split test of the United States and then also the United Kingdom. So maybe the UK is kind of like the second best place that we have course sales, like for my course. So all I would do is click add location variation, and then instead of the United States here, we'd close this out and we choose United Kingdom, right? So now we see that this updates 2 ad sets. So if everything else is the same, this would create 2 ad sets, one of which is in the United States and one of which is the United Kingdom, and it would automatically create both, right? You'll also see the total budget here. This is very important because instead, if you set $5 a day, but you make a bunch of variations, it's going to run $5 a day for each variation independently and give you a total budget here. So it's important to kind of understand that and to make sure that you know kind of what your daily budget is, just so you're not like surprised when you're spending more or less than you expected. So let's do 24 through let's do 25 through 34, just from some of the analytics that we've looked at. That's kind of our best age range, but we also have a good age range, which is 35 through 44, right? From Facebook analytics, from Google Analytics. So we're going to add an age range variation right here, 35 through 44. Let's add let's do all for gender. We can duplicate and make one men or women. Or actually, let's just try men because it was about 75% men, and most of our course sales come from men, about over 3/4. We're gonna do English here because my course is in English, and then detailed targeting. So some of the detailed targeting that we've found to be kind of most effective is Gary Vaynerchuk, just because he really purely kind of represents entrepreneurship and people trying to change their lives and celebrate life and passive income, and that's kind of what my course enables people to do, right? So we're going to do Gary Vaynerchuk. We're going to add a detailed targeting here, and we're going to do Tony Robbins. And you'll see that the total budget is starting to multiply, right? Because now there's multiple variants each time. And so when we add another detailed targeting, for example, it's going to actually multiply, right? Because there's 2 ad sets, one for the UK, one for the United Kingdom. There's 2 ad sets, one for the age range 25 through 34, one for 35 through 44, and now there's another for Gary Vaynerchuk, and then all permutations of each combination needs to occur as well. So let's add like one more, and we see it go from 160 up to 240 here, and we're gonna let's do Bob Proctor. Okay, and so now we have some stuff going on here. So we're gonna edit the placements. We're gonna kill Instagram audience network. Messenger. We don't want marketplace or right column or instant articles either. And we're going to do all devices, right? And again, we can split test this as just mobile and just desktop once we create the campaigns. We did see that iOS devices, right? It said in our Facebook analytics that people were significantly more likely to purchase if they were using Safari and on a phone. And so one split test that we could possibly make would be, to only have mobile only. And then we could just choose iOS only because people that are using Safari are generally on iOS. And we're going to optimize for link clicks here. We're going to change when you are charged from impressions to actual link clicks because it does default you to impressions, which means you pay for ads being shown to people even if they don't actually click on your ad. And so it's generally a little bit more efficient kind of to have when you're charged be link clicks. And again, this is only available from the link clicks option. If you do choose landing page views, impressions, or daily unique reach, it defaults to charging you based off of impressions. And I'm not saying that that's wrong, but what I am saying is I prefer when I'm doing traffic campaigns to be charged on link clicks only. All right, so we can choose even distribution, give each ad set the same budget amount, or we can choose balanced distribution, use the audience size of an ad set to determine how much the budget will receive. More of your budget will go to ad sets with larger audiences. So when I start this out, guys, I usually do even distribution, but if I'm seeing that, there's an unbalanced kind of distribution, if one audience size is 10 million and one audience size is 100,000, obviously they shouldn't get equal amounts of budget. They should do balanced distribution. So if you have drastic differentials between audience sizes of interest, for example, or if you're choosing like Ireland and China as two countries, obviously Ireland has a significantly smaller population, and so you'd want it to have less of the allocated budget if you were kind of on a strict budget here. So total budget, we see 12 ad sets with $20 USD daily budget. 12 times 20 is obviously 240 here. And so I'm going to run my ad continuously, and I would click continue, guys. And like if you've never used Facebook ads before, or if you haven't been around for a while, this feature being added directly natively into the Facebook ads platform was kind of one of the biggest amazing changes that Facebook actually did kind of bring out, because there was some custom software and third-party software that did basically exactly what I just showed you, like Ad Espresso and things like that back in the day, and they were clunky to use a little bit, but it's just so much nicer to have it actually kind of coded beautifully in here for you within Facebook ads. And you can see it actually separate the ad sets, and it'll name them by default for you. Like, this is the Great Britain men 25 through 34. Here is another one with a different interest, right? Here's the US men 35 through 44. Here's the US men with a different interest, right? So it'll show you specifically what the differentials are here. And then once these ad sets actually launch and you can kind of review them from your campaign feed, you'll be able to see based off of their ad spend, the placements that are working most kind of efficiently based on age, gender, demographics, location, based on interest. And then once you can actually kind of narrow down whether Tony Robbins or Gary Vaynerchuk, the ad sets that have liked those two respective pages are performing better, then you'll be able to make decisions as far as optimization, scaling, and things like that. And so that is, guys, how to create split tests more efficiently. And, just as a point, people might be wondering, Kevin, why didn't you teach us it this way kind of from the start? The reason is because it's very important to kind of have a base knowledge and infrastructure of how the platform is set up, how you kind of chronologically, choose age, demographics, detailed targeting, placement, budget, and then actually go in to create your ads introducing it in this way with variant testing and, automatically creating all permutations of split tests based on variants of the different demographics, behaviors, and interests is just a bit more complicated than I wanted to kind of introduce from the beginning. And yes, this is much more efficient, but if you had listened to me in the very beginning of the course, you wouldn't have actually created an ad until this point anyways. And so, I just wanted to really highlight that this is such a huge time saver. Using this in combination with rules is going to save you literally thousands and thousands of hours, and it's going to create unbelievably profitable campaigns for you with Facebook ads, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that one, and let's get to the next.